If your marketing feels all over the place, today's conversation is all about building a strategy that actually works. We're chatting with Tonya Childs, founder and operational CEO of Smart Marketing Advertising Agency.
This is Charleston Women Podcast, where you can meet like-minded, strong, independent, professional, and inspiring local women. This is Charleston Women Podcast.
What started in Anderson, South Carolina in 2010 has expanded into Charleston, where Tonya is now growing both her business and team while helping companies ranging from small local brands to international billion-dollar businesses build smarter marketing foundations. Her passion is creating strategies that don't just look good, they actually drive results. Welcome, Tonya.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you and Charleston Women for having me as a guest today.
Well, we're excited to have you in Charleston now.
Yes.
But let's kind of start from the beginning, where you started in 2010. You're a mentor and someone I look up to is doing something similar, starting such a long time ago.
Thank you so much. In full transparency, I had always wanted to own my own advertising agency. I had a desire to become an entrepreneur. Back during that particular time frame in 2010, I had recently went through a divorce. I went to work one day and the doors to where I was working at were locked. The business had shut down and did not share that with all of the employees. So I said, well, now is the time. It's better than ever to start this advertising agency. I was going through a divorce, a single mom of 2 children. I had passion for success and passion to provide for my kids. And with that being said, I hustled. There's not another way to describe it. Luckily, I had built and established trust and relationships over the years since I had been in the industry working in a market B2B. I was very knowledgeable of marketing and advertising and had completed several different courses and training and so forth. Literally, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and get my kids ready to go to school. I would drop them off. I would work all day, come home, do it all over again. In the meantime, you have to keep in mind, I did not have a job. The motivator, it had a lot to do with money. I was so broke when I first started Smart Marketing that I had to purchase my very first laptop off of QVC. And my very first employee was my longtime best friend. Finally, she told me, she was like, Tonya, you have to stop sending emails at 3 a.m. She said, you are going to have people thinking you've just been up partying all night, or you're crazy. When I say that it was a lot of hard work, a lot of knocking on doors, being in the right rooms, networking, but most importantly, doing what I promised for every single client that I took on and made sure that they got results. So that way they would go and tell their friends and their friends would tell their friends. And word of mouth, and especially back in 2010, because social media was just on the rise. I think we had been in business maybe a couple of years before I ever even established a Facebook page. It's really going back to the basics of marketing and looking in the yellow pages, see who was advertising on billboards, cold calling. The reason why I started it, it was a dream, but on the flip side of it, it was God too saying, okay, this is the season. I'm opening up this door. Here's your opportunity. Now, what are you going to do with it?
So you started this business, but what actually drove you to wanting to start this business in marketing?
I've always had a passion for design and advertising and marketing and growth. I had the mindset whenever I first went into marketing and advertising back when I was 19, I had the opportunity to help businesses grow their businesses. That pat on the back and that, wow, Tonya, thank you. You have really helped our family business That was a huge hit of serotonin. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, I have really just helped this family by increasing their business and improving their livelihood to help their business be successful. And I'm still today addicted to that success.
You recently expanded into Charleston. How has that been for you? And you mentioned that you've been dreaming about it. What was it like to really start and come here from Anderson?
I have always loved the Charleston area. Let me start there. We have been vacationing there for several years. Whenever I first visited, probably about 15, 16 years ago, I clearly stated, I said, I'm going to live here one day. That was around about the same time I started the agency. And about 5 years ago, I said, I'm going to open up a smart marketing in Charleston. I even put it on the website, coming soon, Charleston. Really, Kim, again, it was God's plan, not ours. We were vacationing, my husband and I, on Kiowa. We saw this condo that was for sale. I told Bo, my husband, I was like, let's just go look at it. Whenever we walked in, we knew right away that it was for us. And one of my dear friends, Allison Youngblood, she's from the upstate, now living in the Charleston area. She's a real estate agent. I called her, she showed it to us, and I was like, okay. She was like, well, look at a few more. I was like, okay, but I really think we like this one. And it just somewhat fell in our lap. And my husband has always told me, because he does have to reel me in, and he'll say, Tonya, if it doesn't come easy, it's not part of God's plan. If this comes easy, it's meant to be. And it did. All of the puzzle pieces fit into place. We had to renovate, started January 1st, hitting the ground pretty hard down there. We're here today.
And I know you've mentioned that Charleston has really been supportive with the women supporting women.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in the summer issue for 2026 that just came out for Charleston women. Tell me about that and what that experience has been like for you. And what's the contrast between Anderson and Charleston?
Charleston women, I'm very surprised because, I have this beautiful place in mind, but I'm older, so of course I was like, okay, well, how am I going to fit into a market that's already so established? Especially with the women in our demographic, we already have our lives, our friends, everyone established. But I will tell you the most surprising thing, and I consider it a blessing. Charleston women, the very first event that I went to, I met a lot of people, and they were so warm and so welcoming. And then I joined Angels Brighter Side Society and met more people. And then I started networking. But when I tell you that it is the best group of women, it's women supporting women. And I'm shocked. I'm so passionate about the friendships I've made down there and even the business relationships. It's so wonderful to work with other entrepreneurs in the same industry that I am in. The fact that we can all be friends and support each other. And I love that you said I was a mentor because I love mentoring. I would love to do that one day and sit on the beach. So Charleston is beautiful. I love it. Our plan is to be able to eventually, once our little one graduates from high school, my husband and I would love to live there full time.
In 1996, it was Southern Women to Women magazine. Now it's Charleston Women magazine. Charleston Women is all about strong, capable, confident, hardworking, nurturing, determined, dedicated, and inspiring women. Our readers are business owners, entrepreneurs, mothers, sisters, wives, and grandmothers. Pick up your copy of Charleston Women magazine at Charleston area Harris Teeters and Food Lions. Charleston Women magazine, We are Charleston Women.
You're listening to the Charleston Women Podcast.
Smart marketing. You talk a lot about foundational marketing strategies. What does that actually mean?
We get a lot of clients that range from your smaller clients to larger clients. And it doesn't take rocket science to complete a strategy, but you have to have a great foundation before you move into that marketing and advertising. Just yesterday, we had a brand new business to come into the agency. I said, we have to get your foundation right. We can market and advertise, which is in phase 4 down the road. But if you don't have a good internal system, who's answering your phone? Who is your intake person when it comes to your customers? Who is the face of your company? If you don't have all of that nailed down, then every dime in advertising that you spend is a waste, because you have to get that foundation. Is your Google business set up? Do you have the Google reviews? And if you don't, with so much now being search on the internet, then we teach that business owner how to do all of that foundational marketing first. And then we'll go into, okay, well, you need a new website. Let's not go and cookie cut the website, because that is your foundation. But you got to have, as you know, your branding, your logo, your colors, your fonts. Everything needs to be consistent across the internet. So you have to have all of that done. Again, yesterday, this particular client had made her logo off of AI. I am a big cheerleader of a lot of AI's capabilities, but I am not a cheerleader of an AI logo. And it is so recognizable, and it's not going to function for you 6 months down the road. What I find is business owners, and we have niched down recently with another company, marketing for lawyers. Lawyers are great at what they do, but they don't know how to bring clients in or to market. And that's why we come in as a resource to them. The foundation with your internal systems, your branding, your website, and then we can look at some of the social media. And once your website's done, make sure, for goodness sake, that it is a website that is fully optimized with SEO, because a website is not going to work for you if you don't have some type of search engine optimization on the background.
What are business owners doing wrong, or what are they expecting that isn't facts when it comes to SEO? And speaking of AI, how are you keeping up, and how should business owners keep up with this AI movement, I'll say?
Okay. As far as SEO, we'd use several different programs to help us amplify our SEO strategies. I have employees who only specialize in SEO and content. You would think content really wouldn't go hand in hand with SEO, but it is. Immediately, we go in and we perform an audit and a competitive analysis and audit whatever our client is doing or showing up as online. And then we go in and streamline through their internet directories. An individual doesn't have to pay us to do their SEO. It's just more, let me rephrase that. They don't have to pay us to do their detailed SEO, but one of the things that business owners can do immediately is just to Google themselves and make sure that their Google business and all these other internet directories that they're showing up, their social media, Yahoo, Bing, Easy Local, the name is consistent. The address, phone number, and so forth, everything is consistent with that. We have the software and programs, and our team will go in and do all of the very technical SEO that is way above my head. AI is what you make out of it. But I don't recommend making graphics, logos, your brand, because your brand is who you are. It's like your heart. You can't survive without your brand. A lot of times you'll go on AI, you can't download the fonts, the resolution, and so there's many things that we are seeing and having to correct that AI cannot do for you. One of the things that we use AI for is helping us write our blogs, because we can prompt AI to write our blogs and then go in and customize it and make corrections as needed. You still have to have that knowledge of what you're writing about. If you don't, then AI is not always right. We'll get clients who come in and they'll run an AI testing program and say, hey, ChatGPT, tell me what needs to be fixed on my website on the back end. And it'll print pages and pages of just stuff for these new clients. And we're like, no, it's just not true. And then we run into an issue to where everybody wants to believe Google and AI. They don't want to believe real people anymore. We had a recent situation to where one of our friends has cancer, and one of the friends in our group made a flyer using AI, and it edited the photo so much that she was unrecognizable. We're a big fan of professional photography. Make the investment. There is definitely a lot of great things about AI, but I do think that you have to remember it's not a person.
Well, I'm really impressed that you work with not only local businesses, but billion-dollar brands. What sets somebody apart in business to grow that successful, and what are some of the struggles?
First of all, I will tell you God, because I will say that I have not went out and cold called any international brands like that. They have all been word of mouth, or they've looked us up on the internet. One manufacturer may say to another manufacturer, hey, this is who we use, you should use them. That has been an industry that we have really tapped into over the years, and it's taken us a long time. It wasn't an easy process. It was going in like we were complete strangers, and they were protective of that brand, signing NDAs. All of my employees sign in NDAs. There's proprietary information when we do photo shoots. Having a good foundation of Google reviews, reputation, and by the grace of God.
What's next for Smart Marketing, and what's next for your Charleston expansion?
We are hitting the ground pretty hard right now in Charleston, and we're so grateful for the relationships and the partnerships that we've already established. But we do plan on continuing to work hard. We're not taking a summer vacation. We will be in the market with boots on the ground all summer and throughout this year. Most recently, the most exciting news is last year, I had an employee that had been with me going into her 6th year, moved to Charleston. She moved over on Daniel Island. Tomorrow, I have one of my graphic designers moving to James Island. And then in August, I have 2 of my employees that will be down there living together. Next would be the brick and mortar, to where we wouldn't have to work remote, and just continue that growth and continue the expansion, and still focus, of course, on the upstate location, because that's has always been our bread and butter. But now with a full team in Charleston, we'll be able to serve clients hopefully soon in a brick and mortar location.
Where can listeners find you and Smart Marketing?
Our website is thinksmartmarketing.net, and my email is tchilds@smartmarketingsc.com.
Tonya, thank you so much for being a guest on the Charleston Women podcast and allowing us to learn about all things smart marketing advertising agency.
Oh, thank you, Kim. I think so much of you, and it was an honor to be on your show.
I'm Kim Russo, your host on the Charleston Women podcast, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for spending time with Charleston Women Podcast. Please like us and follow us on whatever platform you're using to access Charleston Women Podcast.